Today I got a Mitsubishi Delica. I honestly don't even know the correct pronunciation, but today gonna put these on. The hubs on these vans, at least the L400s, they're permanently locked. The CV axles, they spin when the wheels turn. I'll show you that in a second, but putting these on just because I want the ability to disconnect the front axles, because for the most of the time this thing's just a commuter car and I don't need the front axles spinning all the time. The first step, at least this is the way I'm going to be doing it, take this dust cover off. Just got a pry bar here, stick it in behind. You can use one of the bolts to pry up against and it should pop right off, and maybe not. There we go. Yeah, so I wasn't able to pry on the lip. I had to go on the very back here, but it worked. Okay, so now with that out of the way, you can see the C-clip here, kind of. Well, it's there anyways. There's one end and there's the other. Yeah, so you got to spread that open. You can probably use a couple picks or screwdrivers to do it. That's what I did on the other side, but I'll show you why it's kind of a pain in the ass. And you might want to just go out and spend the money and buy these. If you don't have, make life way easier. These are, well, snap ring pliers. Or C-clip pliers, I guess. Oh, just like that. The reason why I say get these pliers to make life easier, when you go to put it back together, this axle, it can push in like that and kind of make it a pain to put back together. To get that clip back in place, you can reach around and push the axle back out. But yeah, it's easier if you just get the right tool. These are like $10 on Amazon. Okay, so again, yeah, these are all 14 mils. Yeah, that one's tight. Yeah, I do have an impact here, but I don't want to break bolts. Right, let's get a little breaker bar. The ratchet I'm using is pretty rinky-dink. Another way to help break bolts free when they're rusted in place is just whack them with a hammer, put a socket on them. Obviously don't hit them directly, otherwise you'll mushroom the heads. And just work it back and forth. Yeah, this one's pretty tight. Yeah, let's go slow, back and forth, and eventually it'll come loose. All right, then this just pops right off. There's no gasket on this. I think they're just a tiny little bead of silicone. So yeah. So if these ever crap out, you could always just put this back on. Because that's, like I said, these are locked in full time. That's basically just like a full-time lock hub. It's like a front-wheel drive car, basically. All right, well now just get this all cleaned up. Make sure you don't get any dirt in there. Dirt's not very good on bearings, so keep that clean. Yeah, so now I gotta take these 10 mil bolts off. They're not very tight. Alright, so where are we? This just pops out. And there is a gasket there. Just gonna set that aside. And yeah, just gonna put a little bit of silicone here and just smear it around. It's really light coating. But I think there's some oil on here. Gonna clean that off first. Make sure that's good and clean and smooth. Then, yeah, just reuse those bolts. I'm gonna try and clean those rusty ones up a little bit. And yeah, I'm gonna maybe blow the holes out. I'm probably gonna use thread locker just to, well, thread locker helps the bolts not come out on you, and they're also a good, stop them from rusting. But yeah, I don't know if 3 of those holes are open in the back or what, but kind of weird. But yeah, anyways, silicone that up. Okay, so I gotta put a little bit of grease around on the splines of the axle. Put some sealant around the seam there. And yeah, should just slide right on. And I got some Loctite on all the bolts. Hold it in. I should have cleaned the silicone out of the holes, but I didn't. And yeah, just gonna get these started all by hand, just to make sure they're not cross-threaded. So the torque specs I found for this say 40 foot-pounds for for these bolts, and for this I think it was 7 foot-pounds. Well, I'll double check that and put it on this. So yeah, it was 40 foot-pounds for these at least. So all right, looks like I got some plywood in there. Gonna put just a really light coat of grease in here. All I have is this, yeah, this stuff. Might be a bit thicker than what's in there, or maybe not. I just don't want to gob it with too much grease and make it not want to work when it's cold. But, yeah, I'll just gob a bit of that in there. Try not to make too much of a mess. Yeah, when I did the other side, I had kind of a pain there. Well, trying to get that C-clip back on. But yeah, I'll put it back together the way we took it apart. Just this little shim. Put that in first. And hopefully it goes back together a lot easier with these pliers. All right, well, it's mostly on. Should be able to push it on with a pick the rest of the way. And I'm just gonna reach around and push that axle out. And I think that's it. Yep. Now, yeah, the 10 mil bolts, but they have a 10 mil head on them rather. But I put a tiny bit of Loctite on there. But I forgot to mention that the hub, it only goes in one of 2 ways. You got to clock it properly. Where the 2 big notches are on the hub, there's 2 spots where it doesn't have 2 grooves. Anyways, you'll kind of figure it out. But you can only go in one of 2 ways. If it doesn't go in one way, just keep trying it in different notches till it goes. Yeah, I had a problem with the other side. I was playing around with this. And it's in the free position. I'm gonna move it over. Actually, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. I had trouble getting this pushed in. what I ended up having to do was jack the wheel up and give it a spin to get the splines all lined up, but just by sheer luck this is going together perfectly. If you do have problems, if this comes apart on you, like what happened with me, this piece came apart like that. Not sure how or why, but it did. Yeah, that's how it came apart. Just like that. There's kind of, but kind of only goes back together one way, I hope. There's a little metal tang there that hooks in. Push down, rotate it counterclockwise, and you should be good to go. Now it probably won't go back together. Ah, shit. Yeah. Damn it. Okay, well, I figured out I somehow managed to pop this ring off, this tin one, and got the teeth out of alignment. These teeth have to be all right. Gonna record this so I remember how it goes. This is the one off the side I already installed that does work properly. So the spring goes over top of the groove there and there, and then it's hooked right here. Which probably can't really see very well, but the end of the spring goes under here and it goes up right here. And for the other side, looks like it stops right here where the big wide open space is. And it comes back out there. Okay, well that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. It kept popping out. I couldn't get it to sit like this. So okay, yeah, finally got it back in place. Anyone else that fiddles are gonna grease it up now because I've been handling it so much. Just hopefully this grease doesn't make it stick in the hub. On now. All right. Locked and free. All right, so yeah, now it works. Good. Book says 7 pounds, which is 84 inch-pounds, so yeah, not very tight. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention. If you are putting these hubs on, yeah, obviously before you put the transfer case in the all-wheel drive, make sure you lock the hubs. Or I guess the order doesn't matter, but if you're driving down the road, don't put it in 4 high with the hubs unlocked.